All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Automate Your Agency show. This is episode number 44. I believe we are live. Rainer is doing a check here before we actually dive into a very exciting kind of talk for today. This is our 44th show, and we've been doing this for the last, we do this 44 weeks, and it looks like we are officially live. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a very special guest here today. This man needs no introduction. He's been on the show before. If you are an agency owner, if you run any form of marketing at all, chances are you already know Shaun. Shaun is one of the founders of Go High Level. He's just an overall great guy. I mean, I've heard so much reviews from the Go High Level community, and it's crazy. It's like he runs a super large company, yet he really still speaks with his clients, right? Whether it's on Slack. Dude, I even think you hop on like Zoom calls every now and then.
All the time, yeah, like, every day.
We're all thinking, it's like, how does he have the time to do this? Yeah. Shaun, thanks so much for hopping back here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Dude, I mean, how do you have the time? How do you actually have the time? Yeah,
I mean, it's random. Don't get me wrong. It's probably not well organized, or I don't do a good job. But I just, wherever I see people struggling, I try to jump in and help out, and see what I can do to help. So yeah, it's just kind of in my nature.
And I guess that's why people love Go High Level, right? Because it's not just a company with like, it's not just a software. There's actually real people that talk with other people. And if from the founders itself, like if you're actually there interacting with people, it's like everyone can feel that, right? And it all trickles down to your partners, your employees, everyone in the company, and it's like it's just an overall great culture. So, dude, just kudos to you guys for like.
Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think our community is actually our most important asset. I mean, it's there's lots of different ways to build a company, and I think building it with your customers is the best way. And it could be difficult at times, it can be messy at times, but I still think it's the better way to do it, and it helps us make a better product because we know who we're serving every day. We listen to those people, and it really drives what we do.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that leads in well to what we're going to talk about today, which is going to be a very exciting topic, right? And I would assume that this is probably one of the first times we've heard this kind of model being introduced in the agency space. And I don't think this would have been, you guys would probably not figure this out if you don't speak so closely to your customers, right? I think that's your biggest edge. And
it's true.
You guys have been on the show. So I think we can just dive right in.
Let's dive right in, man.
I mean, meaty topics. So yeah. So Shaun, I think the big thing here really is that you guys have launched, I guess today, right? Even.
Yeah, exactly. It went live. It went live this morning, so I'm pretty excited.
Nice. So tell us more about that. Maybe we can start with like, how did you guys come up with the idea, even, right? How did it come to you?
Yeah. So like all of our ideas, we stole them from our best customers. So
nice.
We had. So it's really simple. So if you're a marketing agency or you're starting an agency, it's you want to figure out, well, how do I make money, but also how do I scale? So if you've been doing this for a while, what you'll quickly learn is it sounds exciting to do $1,500 plus ad spend, retainer campaign, retainer sort of model. But the issue that you're going to run very quickly into is most businesses can't sustain let's call it a $3,000 a month bill, or they just won't sustain a $3,000 a month bill. And it's not because you're not doing a great job. It's not because you're not delivering great results. It's because they just don't have time to evaluate all that, and they're just going to cut you. And ultimately, some people it's 4 months, some people it's 6, some people it's 12, but there's a lot of churn. The number of people who keep clients for 10 years is really low. And I think it has a lot to do with the price point that agencies operate at today. And so what we try to do, and we're on a mission to do, is help every agency make a lot more money and scale really fast. And so we looked at our current customer base and we're like, well, wait a second, who is doing the best? And we found about 50 customers that were doing something super unique that I've never seen before. And they were taking High Level and packaging up and reselling it as a software platform in addition to their agency services. And so what this really amounted to was $300 to $500 a month in additional revenue, where there was no additional labor, no ad campaigns to build, no websites to create, but literally just taking the software and putting it in-house because we have so many functions and capabilities. And then these are all the things that small businesses need. So they were literally just selling it to their customer on a monthly recurring basis and making a ton of money. So we had a couple of agencies we still do that are over 3 million in revenue a year just on software. And so we looked at those people and we said, aha, this is it. This is how we help every agency go to market with a product that scales really well, is a lower price point, so it's easier to get the sale on, and there's no labor involved. So you don't have to learn Facebook Business Manager. You don't have to create a website. This is just either a great way to start or a great way to add to what you're already doing as an agency, and you can make a lot more money. And the stickiness factor here is much higher because you're selling things that are software tools, right? So these are things like web chat, Google My Business messaging, two-way text messaging, reputation management, those sorts of features that small businesses need. And now that you're providing it to them, you're a great resource for that technology. And then if they decide they're not going to do Facebook ads next month because they said they can't afford it, they're not going to cut the software. You're not going to lose the customer.
Nice. Makes sense. So yeah, I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. And it's like, again, something you won't really see unless you look at, like you said, your top customers doing, this amount of revenue that, this is actually how they're leveraging the software to even increase their revenue. Right.
That's
so
right.
I guess next question for me is like, some people out there will ask, like, who are newer, like, how do I sell that? Or like, how does that fit in my packaging? Like, when I sell Facebook ads, I always talk about the leads. I talk about, how I'm going to get them people in the door. How would I then add in this package, or how would that look like? How would I sell it generally?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So, if you went to a business owner and you said, hey, listen, would you like free leads coming in every single day with no ad spend? Would you like to rank higher on Google? And would you like more 5-star reviews? Every business is going to say yes to that, right? Well, there you go. That's SaaS right there. So you sell in our entry-level SaaS package. That's $300 a month. That's getting more reviews for reputation management, which also leads to a higher Google ranking, by the way, because Google ranks people higher who have higher reviews. Imagine that. And free leads, it's super simple. You put the web chat widget on the website and you turn on Google My Business messaging, which, by the way, is just literally connecting their Google My Business account through High Level. You will end up getting free leads coming in through that website automatically for them every single day. It's super, super simple.
Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing that people forget, right? Like in the agency space, they think like, oh, I got to find an external source of like leads or people. But there's so much, these businesses have some sort of organic traffic, or like there's already places where you can even maximize, right? And just like bolt on like the solution you guys have to kind of like get more leads and basically attribute it to yourself even. But of course, without that software, you couldn't generate those leads anyway, but you kind of like amplify that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got it.
I think that sticky point is big, right? Because I guess in the business owner standpoint, I don't know what you've seen, but like I would assume that the business owner would be like, oh, if I let these guys go, I'd lose all my reviews or something like that.
Exactly. Well, and it's super simple. Free leads walking through the door without ad spend every day are pretty appealing to most small business owners. And and you put a web chat widget on any website and you're onto it. There's already traffic coming to the website every single day that doesn't do anything. They're like, I'm not sure what to do here. Oh, I'm out of time. Oh, see ya. And that's it. You're done. You lost your lead. But the web chat widget converts it into an SMS conversation. And now it 2 hours later, that business owner gets back to them. Great. They just converted a sale. Well, it doesn't take many of those every month for that business owner to say, wow, $300, what a smoking deal. And, the problem is people overthink this in the agency space because they think you have to do this massive production. But, go look at podium.com. They're doing over $100 million in revenue doing exactly what I just told you. They have 20,000 single location businesses. It's $400 a month. They have a 2% churn rate. They're an insanely profitable SaaS business. And that's all they offer businesses because it's simple. For $300 a month, would you like 30 free leads coming off your website every month? Yes, I would. Here's your $300. Thanks. And that's a 10-year life cycle customer. And guess what? They don't call you because it's software. Hey, did you build my website? Hey, how's that Facebook ads campaign performing? You don't get those phone calls. Those are gone. So when you have 100 customers, all of a sudden your phone's not ringing off the hook and you're not having to constantly deal with your Facebook shutting down your ads manager all the time. Now, what I love about doing this from the agency side, though, is there's lots of other things small business owners need, but if you put it on top of the software, just imagine the scalability there. So this time when you do the ads campaign, if they cut you after 4 months, did you just get fired? No, you didn't. You didn't lose that customer. You still have that software revenue coming in. In fact, I know lots and lots of people who actually lead with the Facebook ads campaigns. Hey, do you want 20 extra 20 extra customers this month? They sell the Facebook ads knowing that they're going to get fired quickly and not caring about it because they use it as a vehicle to sell the software. And this is how many of these guys are getting to huge multiples of revenue on very, very, very low cost basis because they don't need to staff up to support all these ad campaigns and websites and all this other stuff. And honestly, if you've ever run Facebook ads, what do you learn very quickly? I generate a lot of leads. I funnel them over to my client who does squat all, doesn't follow up, doesn't reply to the leads. When the lead says, hey, I want to give you my money, what do? Nothing. And at the end of the month, who do they blame for it? They blame the agency, right? And so ultimately, this is where I think there's this big challenge around how do we get clients value they're willing to pay for? And the software piece really solves for that because they're willing to pay the $300. They're just not willing to pay the $3,000. And so to me, think about as an agency, if you've been around for a couple of years, just think about how many clients have I churned through in that time? And if all I had done is held on to them with a $300 a month recurring price tag and they don't call me, how much money would that be in my pocket? And I think for most agencies, it'd be a significant amount of cash.
I love it, man. That makes a lot of sense. And we have a couple of people hop on live here. There's a hashtag going on, hashtag SaaS Live. Let us know, everyone, if you have any questions for Shaun about SaaS mode and just everything that we talked about here. But it's interesting that you brought that up because one of my questions was I was going to ask you, like, is this going to be the end to the old agency model? And it seems like what you said, it's complementary, right? They can.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, right? I think that's the biggest message. We're not saying change what you're doing. We're saying add this on. So, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you are just starting today and you don't know what to sell or how to sell it, we'd say start here and sell that. But if you're a massive agency, you have 1,000 customers, cool, keep doing that. But just add on SaaS to everything that you do. Because the way I think about it is simple. Every small business in the entire world will have this technology in their business 5 years from now. Every small business, you will be able to message. And if you can't message them, sorry, you're not going to do business. And if you know anything about like Google My Business messaging is going to be massive this year. Mark my words. Google is turning on Google My Business messaging across the board. So now when you go on your phone and you're looking for somebody, like you want to look for a plumber and you type plumber, instead of just seeing call down the screen, you're going to see call, message. Wait, message? Sweet. I'm on the bus right now. I'm on the train. I'm busy. I don't have time. I'm going to hit that message button. And the plumbers who have that message button enabled, well, guess what? They're going to get a lot more business than the guys that are forcing you to still pick up the phone. And by the way, what happens when we call? Ring. Oh, voicemail. Shoot. Okay, I got to call the next guy. That sucks as a consumer, right? But the message button, wow, that's amazing. And so, but what's going to happen is as those messages come flooding in, they're going to need a product to help them automate the responses, book the appointments, all of that stuff. And that's all funneled in through high level because we have a beta going right now with Google on messaging. And as an agency, you're now selling that in as a software solution where you don't have to staff it. You don't have to create campaigns around it. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You literally just install the software and you're good to go.
I love it. We have a question here from Matthew. We'll go high level, integrate with chatbot as a channel. Kind
of. We have automation in the system today that will do automatic responses, and we have really cool flows. Like you could say, "Hey, would you like to book an appointment?" And that person could say, "Sure," and then we can automatically say, "Great, here's a link to our calendar. Grab a time that works for you." So we have a lot of automation around the really easy flows. I think the problem with chatbots is depending on who you are, there's kind of this odd belief out there that there's like these magic chatbots that can like do everything, right? You're like, hey, do you have a 2021 Toyota Tacoma on the lot with, leather seats and a gray and tan interior? And there's like a chatbot that can just be like, oh, yes, we do. Those types of things don't really exist. So we stick to the things that are easy. And then where we break into the hard pieces, we bring in humans because humans are still kind of necessary for a lot of those pieces. That will evolve over time, and we'll continue to build more AI into the system. But today, right now, in order to even use that chatbot, you've got to be driving those conversations into the app, and that's what the software is all about. So, are you already capturing the conversations off the website for your clients? Are you already capturing their Google My Business messaging conversations? I would say for most people, the answer is no. And until you are, the chatbot doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah,
so
I think that makes a good point because
sell the software first.
That's true because I think you make a good point because I definitely agree that no matter how great your AI is at this point, it still isn't as flexible to be able to answer all these edge cases, and there's going to be a ton of them. But if you start collecting the information now, you can always use that data in the future to feed something like I think it's like Dialogflow or whatever.
Yeah. In fact, we have people right now who have Dialogflow integrated with our product, so we have that ability, we have that capacity right now. But I think for most agencies, if I said, hey, are you ready to take Dialogflow and put it in with your conversations that you're getting for your clients? They'd be like, Dialog what? And Conversations and there's no model there yet, guys. Like, where have you sold SaaS? Are you selling SaaS? Well, no. Oh, okay, well, great. Let's start there. Let's podium $100 million. You doing 100 million? You doing $300 a month in software fees for your clients? No. Okay, awesome. Let's start there. As soon as we crack that nut, great. Dialogue flow to the sky. Let's talk about chatbots and automation. But first, are you selling SaaS? Are you creating a recurring software revenue base in your agency? And if not, we got to start there.
Makes sense. Shaun, I'm trying to understand. So the old way was that, a client would hire an agency and the agency would set up Google My Business, the website, and all that good stuff. They could do it within Go High Level. So how does the new SaaS model work? Like, I sell it to the client, $300 or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it like this. There's a load of software technology out there that's available for small businesses. And they need this technology, don't they? Aren't these great products for small businesses to own? Absolutely. Except there's a billion providers. So as a small business owner, who do I buy from, and how do I get it set up, and who do I trust? And how does this all work? Do I wait for the sales guy to call me, or do I wait for the cold email to come in, or do I wait for the banner ad do I click that banner? Like, who am I going to buy from? How about this idea? I'll buy from the marketing agency. I know these folks. They know my business. They've set up a lot of marketing technology for me already. They understand the world of technology, and maybe they could help me with these other software products, right? And if we give you a revenue stream around that as an agency, now you're making money off of it versus just reselling somebody else's brand. So it creates stickiness for you as an agency. It creates a really great outcome for your client, and it creates another revenue stream for you that doesn't require you to hire another staff member to set up more ads.
So as a client experience, it's now the client's responsibility, right? Because they're buying the software. So they're the ones that are actually working on, whatever they need to do, right?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So they're the ones, they're the ones where the web chat comes in off the website. Who's going to answer that question, right? So we have, as the agency, you'll set up some automations that are cool. Like, hey, thanks a lot for chatting in with us. Do you need to book an appointment? And so a lot of people say, yeah, I do need to book an appointment. And they're like, great. Here's a link to our calendar. Let's book a time that works for you. And boom, as an agency, you're now racking up appointments for them. But then some people are going to say, oh, yeah, I do want to book an appointment before I come into the car dealership. Do you have that 2021 Toyota Tacoma on the lot? As an agency, you couldn't answer that question anyways. But guess what? You just captured the lead. And as a result, now you've given that business owner the capacity to get back to them 2 hours later and say, yeah, we do have that. Close the sale. And guess what? That's your sale. You get to take credit for that. But did it cost them $1,500 plus ad spend to get that lead? No, it didn't. It cost $300. It's a totally different ballpark. But did you also have to hire somebody and create an ad campaign and write copy and do all that stuff? No, you didn't have to do any of that stuff. You just put the web chat widget on the website one time, and that takes 5 minutes.
Nice, makes sense. Yeah, and I think it's very key, especially in this time where a lot of people are struggling maybe with their ads to a certain degree, especially with a lot of talk around iOS 14 and all of that. So people are seeing some rising costs. Maybe the leads aren't coming in as quickly. So yeah, being able to diversify into this and then keep the client even during this time, because you never know, maybe the platform stabilizes and as people leave, it becomes cheaper or something. But I think that's a key point that I kind of took away from this, that let's say a client fires you for the Facebook ads but stays around for that software for like $300 per month. You never know, 6 months down the line, they're like, oh yeah, we got some
they
cash.
will come back. Absolutely. Yeah. No, this will happen. And in fact, I think on the ad side, ads are going to move to more project work. It's going to be like, I know this is going to be a 3-month thing because I just know that the client has a hard time mentally sustaining this, right? But that's okay by me because now I never lose this client. And I'm not just selling them ads for 3 months. I'm also going to have the opportunity to sell them other things because I'm sticking around as a trusted partner. I think there's a big difference between coming down in the offering versus being fired completely. Because even if I fire you, I've made like this really big decision. And now it's super hard 6 months later to be like, oh, shoot, you know what? I was wrong. Let me call him back and try to rehire him and all this. Like, it's just a big deal, right? Versus saying, you know what? I'm just going to, they're still there. They're still a vendor. I'm going to call them and I'm just going to add back the service that I cut back. It's just going up a plan versus going down a plan, right? Versus the difference of rehiring somebody. I think it's a totally different mental experience for the client.
Exactly, for sure. And I think this would be easier for agencies as well, because imagine if you're the agency and you know that the ads are not delivering to where they're supposed to be, you can even be the one to come if you have a SaaS model built in with that client. You can go to the client and say, hey, let's review the strategy. It looks like the leads aren't at the cost we want. Let's maybe shut it off for a few months. But we have all that organic stuff. It will pay off because these leads will come back on their own or something like that. And then you're the one who even fires yourself in a sense. And I think that can build a lot of trust with the client. Like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's stick around with that because you're still working together as SaaS. And maybe down the line they'll need you again, or they need a spike, or they have some capital kind of push out. Then they can come back to you and like, hey, let's run ads again. Or maybe they come back, hey, I need my website fixed. And you're there, you just hire that out or something, like white label it. But
and if you just think about it on a broader sense, right? Like, what small business doesn't need a CRM? What if you could be the person selling the CRM? Wow, that'd be amazing. Why the heck not? Let's pretend for a minute they're going to keep your Facebook ads forever. Awesome. Why not make more money? Why not provide them software that helps them do that? Right? Why shouldn't that be something that the agency gets a piece of? Why should you sell HubSpot or ActiveCampaign or something else? Why does HubSpot get the revenue and the agency doesn't? I don't get it. Right? So even if they are going to keep your ads and your websites and everything you ever tell them, and let's say they're just pretend they're going to love you forever, having a $400 a month additional amount of revenue that has zero staff ad coming in the door for every client, why the heck not? They're going to pay that money to somebody. I promise you. They're gonna get a call from the podium sales guy, and they're gonna buy that technology, because that technology is what every small business is going to have. I just personally believe the agency is the better person to serve that to them, because they can help them with everything in one spot, bring it all together, instead of having to send the client out and say, oh yeah, go find your own CRM, then come back, we'll run some ads for you. It's a disjointed feeling.
Right. And so you're going to putting everything in one place, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Shaun, you mentioned that you launched today, right? But it's been months in the process.
Oh yeah. I mean, trust me, this has been 6 months of development effort. I mean, what we launched today was the beginning of this model where, as an agency, you can walk in the door and you can set up billing, and it'll auto provision the user, and everything that a SaaS company has on their back end, we've now given to you. So yeah, it's been 6 months in the making.
And congratulations. So I don't know what you want to do, but is there a place for people to learn about this, or do you want to do a walkthrough here?
I'd love to do a quick little show and tell. I mean, it's funny because it's not that exciting to see, right? So like if
well, that's the point, right? So let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I mean, like it's actually pretty boring to look at from a customer perspective or from an agency perspective. Can you see my screen here?
Yeah,
yep,
it's on
thing
now.
Yeah, so this is the new SaaS dashboard, and for us, it's really cool, right? But it's pretty simple. It's like, hey, you know what? This is the standard plan. It comes with these features. This is the professional plan. It comes with those features. Here's the premium plan. It comes with it's like these features. Here's the prices I want to set. Here's the complimentary credits I want to give. Here's the trial period I want to give. Here's the Twilio rebilling, so you're making money off of your every text your client sends and every phone call they make, and we'll have email rebilling here at the end of the month. So then it'll be every email they send, you'll be able to make money off of. So it's literally just, setting these plans up. And now when somebody signs up for one of these plans, they're going to get, these features that are sort of that are predefined, and that's it. You're off to the races. Now you're making money. And, as an agency, you're still coming into the system and layering in all the stuff you would do before, building funnels, building websites, creating campaigns. But the customer is seeing a very specific set of services and features, and the billing is really the big aha here.
That makes sense.
Nice. Wow, it looks so simple.
Yeah, and that's the idea. We wanted to make it paint by numbers easy for the agency to come in and actually make this happen. And that's what we've done. And it makes you into a SaaS company like us, or a SaaS company like any other SaaS company you've seen, and allows you to add software as a service onto your agency. And we love this model, and I see how this model is actually really useful. In fact, while I'm on the sharing here, if you look at this business here, can you see this Thrive presentation? Yeah. So something I want people to understand is this model also is in full swing in other places. So Thrive is a publicly traded company. They're the yellow pages in the United States. They're a $1.3 billion company. And what their big initiative is for the future is right here, SaaS. They're doing 127 million in revenue with 44,000 clients nationwide. They're sending yellow page salespeople out to sell SaaS to small businesses, and they've sold 44,000 of them, and they have a 2.4% churn rate. This is the future right here. And and what is Thrive as a platform? It's super simple. They're white labeling Visita. So they're literally taking a page out of our book. I mean, we're doing the same thing. We're creating the technology for the agency, but in Thrive's case, they're buying Visita and reselling it as Thrive.
Gotcha.
So this is a model that I think represents the future of small business technology purchasing. This is how small businesses will purchase in the future. They'll call up the agency and say, "Hey, what should I do?" And the agency will say, "Don't worry, we know exactly how to help you out. You're going to buy this thing and this thing and this thing." And some of those things will be things that the agency provides white label, right along with the services that they're doing. I think this is, sorry about that. I think this is easily the future of marketing agencies, because as a small business, there are a billion options of software to choose. Who am I going to listen to? I'm going to listen to that trusted local provider. And for me, that's the marketing agency.
I love it, man. So how do people get access to this for people that aren't part of Go High Level yet and those that are already in like the Go High Level community?
It's gohighlevel.com. And then, I would highly recommend you check out the YouTube channel. We have a ton of education, a ton of good videos about this. Once you get into High Level, in order to get to access to the SaaS mode, you're going to need to level up to the Pro plan, which you can do in the billing page. And, we'll continue to beat this drum. We also have a done, for those of you who are like, how do I sell it? We've got sales videos and sales training. For those of you who are like, how do I even set this thing up? We even have a done for you setup process where we would say to you, look, go charge the plumber $199 setup fee, and for $99, we'll get on the phone and actually set it up for you with the client, just so that you can take it out of your hands. You don't even have to think about the tech. We make it super simple and super easy, because we really know that it's magic. And if you just get these small features up and running with that small business owner, they're going to love you forever, because they're going to say, wow, you're the source of all these free leads every day. How could I ever get rid of you? And so as an agency, if you want to create a very sticky model with your client, this is the answer to that.
I love it, man. Shaun, thanks so much. So what's next? So obviously,
yeah,
I mean, you guys keep coming out with great
stuff.
So
yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll keep trucking. So for the rest of the quarter here, let me check my magic list here. So funnel split testing, PayPal integration, Outlook calendar integration, text to pay. So payments is coming out probably very soon. I would say probably next week. Conversions API will also come out next week. So the ability to get around that nasty iOS 14 issue. So we'll have the ability to communicate directly with Facebook. For those of you who are running into pixel issues, and all of that will deliver here in Q3. And then we'll be moving on to some pretty exciting stuff in Q2 we'll deliver. And then in Q3, we'll move on to things like WhatsApp integration. Blogging is going to come out. We'll get another 10 features. So we'll continue to do what we always do, which is drop lots and lots and lots of new features. But it's super important to me that agencies get on the SaaS play, because, at the end of the day, we already have tons of features that the average agency never even touches, because they're churning those clients. And we need to stop that churn. So for me, this is the way we stop that churn. And this is what allows that agency to keep those clients long-term. So I still think this will always be the most important thing, no matter what feature we have. This is going to be the way that the agency can take those features out to the client and monetize it and turn it into a churn reduction tool at the same time.
I love it. And Shaun, it's just a testament to how you guys really care for your clients, right? Because it's like, you created this kind of SaaS mode because you listen to the client, and you have all the documentation, all the trainings. You even help people sell it. There's a done for you component. It's like, there's no way for people to fail, right? You literally just have to follow.
I mean, that's the idea. I mean, I really feel passionately about finding a way to help everybody, either people who want to be agencies or just getting started, or all the way through. And I've really looked at this from all angles, and I'm pretty passionate about this idea, because I really think it's the right idea. I mean, I could say, well, agencies that offer 10 services keep their clients longer than the ones that offer one service, right? But it's really hard to then go from one service to 10 services if you're two people or one person, right? So that's not a very good solution. And also, even if you do that, the people offer 10 services, either they outsource all of it, and how do I find a white label vendor and all this other stuff. But even those people, the profit margin on services is always going to be lower than the profit margin on software. So the other thing to think about is, $300 a month sounds like, oh, wow, that's a lot. That's low compared to the 3,000 I was making or the 1,500 I was making on my retainer model. But how much time, how many hours goes into the retainer model versus the software model, right? And think about just business in general. How many service companies get $200 million in venture capital? 0. How many software companies do? Podium did. I mean, there's hundreds of them that get venture capital. Why is that exactly? It's because their products scale better. Their cost on servicing those customers every month is very close to 0. So once you have that acquired customer and you get them on the software, ongoing maintenance is very low. But a service business, you just got to keep pushing it every month. And that's hours and hours and hours of labor. And that's not very scalable. So if your goal is to scale up and have a model that's very sticky, software is the right answer for that.
I love it. I love it. Shaun, this has been amazing. I'm sure a lot of people are excited to, get their hands wet and try to use this. Is there anything else you want to share, man, to our audience in terms of?
That's what I got. I mean, it kind of sounds boring. I get it, but I mean, it's just about helping you guys make more money and scale up your agencies faster, and be much happier, and maybe even be able to take vacation because you're not having to pick up all these phone calls when the Facebook ads account gets shut off by Facebook and all of that kind of stuff. So, and I will just say we've seen tremendous success with it. We're seeing hundreds of agencies now adopt the model. They're making a lot of money off of it. And so I just want to bring this message out as wide as I can, because I really, truly believe it will help a lot of people change their lives.
Love it. And someone on the comments say, what's a vacation? Well,
exactly. There you go. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. Yeah. So, and again, if you're ever, and the other thing is valuation. If you ever want to sell your agency, imagine walking into a valuation conversation saying, well, we sort of waffle around at 3 to 50 clients. We keep them around 6 to 8 months. You're constantly adding new clients in. I mean, that doesn't sound like a business. That sounds like a job, right? Versus if you say, look, we've got 100,000 in recurring revenue. We have about a 10% monthly growth rate. You can create a valuations model around that. And again, if you look at exit valuations on software companies, they're significantly higher than service companies for that exact reason, because they're the type of business where you get hit by a bus tomorrow, the $100,000 keeps coming in. But the agency model by itself, you get hit by a bus tomorrow and you're done and your whole business is done. And that's not a very sustainable, solid foundation. And so I know that if we can take this software model and combine it with the agency model, magic can happen.
Makes sense. Shaun, thanks so much, man. And thanks for everything you do for the community and for the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Shaun Clark here. We just talked about how you can turn your agency into an actual software company. This is SaaS mode, #SaaS mode down below. If you want to learn more about, the SaaS mode and all that, go to gohighlevel.com. I believe you also have a Facebook group, right, Shaun?
Oh yeah, we have a huge Facebook group. I have 12,000 marketing agencies in that Facebook group, although you do have to sign up to join. So make sure you sign up first.
There you go. All right, and that's it for our show today. Thanks, everyone. You can catch the replay to this. It will be, if you're just hopping on, it's going to be on the guide section of this Facebook group. And that should be it for today. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Shaun.
Thanks, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.